In this video, I'm going to break down how parents can create more motivation within their athletes. A few weeks ago, I sent out a survey to my community of sport families, and by far the most requested help that I got from parents was how can they create more motivation within their athlete. And this is because I think that there are few things that are more frustrating to a parent than to see their child that doesn't have as much motivation as they'd like them to have, especially after they invested all of these resources in the form of time and energy and yes, even money into their child's sport experience. So today I'm going to teach you the 3 psychological needs of motivation and how you can take action on those psychological needs and leverage them to your advantage to help you create that motivation that you want to see in your athlete. Before we dive into that though, I do have a free gift for you today for stopping by the channel. If you have an athlete or a performer and they could use a boost in their mental preparation to help them better mentally prepare for their next practice, game, showcase, or even tryout, I want you to get over to trainwithperk.com/free guide. What you're going to find there is a 100% free guide that takes about 10 minutes to get through, but it contains 3 easy to install tools that can absolutely help any athlete or performer better mentally prepare for their next big moment. Again, that's trainwithperk.com/free guide. All right, let's dive into these 3 psychological needs. And it's probably a good idea to let you know where these needs are coming from. The psychological framework that we are leveraging to our advantage today is something known as self-determination theory, which is really a psychological theory on human motivation. Self-determination theory has been the most solid and most used theory on human motivation, and it's been used across a lot of industries, including high-level sport, the military, and even the corporate environment. Within self-determination theory lies those 3 psychological needs. It's kind of like the 3 pillars of self-determination theory, and those pillars are autonomy, competence, and relatedness. And I'm going to break down what each one of those mean for you and how you can use those to create more motivation in your athlete. All right, psychological need number 1, autonomy. Most people, when they hear autonomy, they think to themselves, especially with regards to their athlete, oh, I'm supposed to let my young athlete decide exactly what to do, make all the decisions, and then that way they will then be autonomous. I'm here to tell you that is not an accurate interpretation or implementation of what it means to fuel your child's sense of autonomy. That's because autonomy is the ability for an individual to take actions that move them from the version of themselves that they are to the version of themselves that they want to be. And it doesn't necessarily matter whether they came up with the idea or the actions or if they were given the actions by someone else. A great example of this is all the people that are out there that want to lose weight. In order for them to be motivated to lose weight, they need to feel as though the actions that they take are going to move them from the version of themselves that they are, somebody who's out of shape, to the version of themselves that they want to be, somebody that's in shape. And again, it doesn't necessarily matter if they choose the workout plan or they do what most people do and they go and get a coach to help design for them a plan, and then they're given the actions. All that matters is that they feel like they're going to go from the version of themselves that they are to the version of themselves that they want to be. And this leads to one of the biggest reasons why your young athlete isn't as motivated as they could be, because they don't understand how what's being asked of them is going to lead to a beneficial outcome in their life. And this basically makes parents' heads want to explode, because of course the parent sees it as, well, if you work harder, you're going to be able to perform well. How can you not possibly see that? Here's the thing though, your child, your young athlete, isn't always blessed with the most perspective. They can't always see the bigger picture. So you're going to have to work a little bit to help them understand 2 things. The first is, what aspect do they want to be able to improve in their sport? What do they want to be able to do better? Once they tell you what that thing is, before you tell them what to do, here's the follow-up question that I want you to ask them. I want you to ask them, if you were able to achieve that, how would that feel for you and what would that mean for your sport career? And make sure they go into some detail here. Don't just settle for a, well, it would feel good type answer that I know that they're gonna give you, because my clients give that one to me. Allow them to go a little deeper. What does it would feel good mean to them? Are they gonna be more confident? Are they gonna be more focused? Are they gonna be able to execute at a higher level? What sort of opportunities would that create for them? Help them explore what this could possibly lead to. Now, once they understand both what they need to improve on as well as what that would mean for them, now is the time that either you can give them the solution, give them the drill or the technique or tool to work on that's going to help them get there, or if you're not necessarily sure, that is the time where you work with them to seek out a resource that they're going to then be committed to. Because here's what's just happened for your athlete. You've now connected the dots for here's where you are, here's where you want to be, and more importantly, here's why you want to be there. So now the solution that we're going to come up with is going to fuel their sense of autonomy, and odds are it's going to lead to them actually executing on that thing you guys have come up with. And all in all, that's just far more productive, and it's going to increase the likelihood that you're going to have success in this conversation and in this interaction with your child. It's going to lead to much more success than, hey, you got to do more of this. All right, psychological need number 2 that your athlete needs to have in order to be as motivated as they can be is competence. And this one's pretty straightforward. It basically says that people don't like to do the things that they suck at. I'll give you a personal example. As an athlete, I hated traditional, boring cardio. Absolutely avoided it at all cost. I thought running was miserable. I thought riding a bike was the dumbest thing on the planet. And if you asked me to swim, I'm sitting there thinking, well, this activity may or may not result in me drowning. Not exactly appealing. To this day, I don't do it, but I also value my health and I value taking care of myself. And so the thing that I like to do is lift weights. I'll lift weights all day, but cardio, not a chance. Well, these last 6 months, I actually started doing some high intensity interval training with kettlebells, and I absolutely love it. And guess what? They are also incredible cardio workouts, and I get to elevate my heart rate while also doing the type of lifting and Olympic lifts that I enjoy doing, that I know that I'm good at. Are you picking up on the lesson here? What I found is that I paired something that I'm not good at with something that I love and that I enjoy doing, and now all of a sudden I have way more motivation to do something that I used to be so negative about. My advice to you for your athlete is, if there's an aspect of their training that they just hate, that they just don't like to do, find a way to pair it with something that they do enjoy doing. Now listen, I'm sure some of the people that are going to watch this are going to say to themselves, well, sometimes in life you have to do the things that you don't want to do. And that's true. And you're more than welcome to fight that uphill battle with your child. But before you go and you start that war though with your child, I want you to think about all the things that you don't do and that you avoid at all costs because you don't like it or you're not good at it, even though you know that you should be doing those things. I think you may find that my way is going to be a lot less stressful on you and certainly a lot less stressful on the relationship that you have with your child. All right, the third and final psychological need is relatedness. Humans are social beings, and we are always going to be more motivated to do things that create stronger connections with the people around us. I had a parent reach out to me last month, and he was livid because his young hockey player would rather play Fortnite with his buddies on the Xbox than go out in the garage and shoot pucks at a net all by himself. And my response to him was, well, of course he is, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't care about hockey. He's just going to be naturally more motivated to do the things that build strong connections with the people that he cares about. So the solution that I gave that parent is to get his son's buddies over to his place, set up a couple nets on the property, and let the boys get after it. No coaches, no rules, no structure. Just let him play. And it's really no surprise because now his son gets a ton of shots on net each week, and you know what? He enjoys doing it. It's something that he looks forward to now instead of when it was just him by himself in the garage. And something else interesting happened as the result of this as well. his son actually started going out in the garage by himself and shooting more, so that way he had a better chance of beating his buddies when they came over. Imagine that. So remember, if you want your child to become more motivated, you've got 3 boxes to check: autonomy, relatedness, and competence. And if you do those 3 things successfully, everything else tends to fall into place. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you hit that thumbs up button for me. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't already, if you've got a young kiddo that could use a boost in their mental performance, make sure that you get over there, trainwithperk.com/free guide. I'll see you next week.